I call this Village of Greenhills Council meeting to order for January 27th, 2026. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Halter.
Here.
Mr. Hermes.
Here.
Ms. Fowler.
Here.
Ms. Hudson. Here. Mr. Warner.
Here.
Ms. Walker.
Here.
Mayor Moore.
Here. Okay, we have a prayer by Maria Walter.
Dear God, with the memory of coming up very soon on the 3rd of February, we remember the 4 chaplains that died on the sinking of a submarine in the North Atlantic. These 4 chaplains, one Lieutenant George Fox was a Methodist, one Lieutenant Alexander Goody was a Jewish rabbi, Lieutenant John P. Washington was a Roman Catholic, and Lieutenant Clark V. Pauling, Dutch Reformed. Yet all of them had one God. All of them had the same thought of saving the servicemen on the submarine, trying to keep everybody calm. During the sinking of the USAT Dorchester in the North Atlantic, they were distributing the lifeguards, and they all gave up their life vests in order to give it to the soldiers. I hope that we could do that sometime, be so selfless. And without one word, they held each other's hand until they died, praying together as the ship sank. Please, dear God, may we all hold hands to be one and continue to be one nation under God, indivisible, with all the divisions that we encounter these days in our lives, with liberty and justice for all. And we pray to our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
And
Just a minute, I'm going to
Legionnaire will lead us in
yeah, let me get closer to there.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I think that our commander has a few words that he wants to share with us.
Yeah, we're very honored to be part of the community and behind you, supporting you in all your endeavors. And I have some donations here I'd like to give out. Chief? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah. One for you. Tony. Look. Candyman. 2,000, 2,000, and 1,000.
Thank you very much.
thank you.
We're not done yet. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, we have approval of minutes of the previous meeting of the work session of December the 9th, 2025, and the council meeting of December 16th, 2025. No corrections or comments. The minutes shall stand as approved. All right. We have no proclamations. We do have a special guest tonight, State Representative Cindy Abrams, who I hope is bringing us good news from the legislature.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. I love bringing good news. I am a forever optimist, and so those of you that know me well know that, yeah, I prefer to bring good news. So today, basically, I just come before you essentially to answer any questions that you have at the end here. I will be very brief in my update. This is just a little State House update that I like to come around to all of my cities, townships, and villages in my district and give, just take a few minutes of your time to kind of update you what's going on. Because as we know, sometimes, you don't hear about what's going on at the state level. I come from local government, so I truly believe local government is totally where it's at, 100%. But I will say, sometimes on the news you hear about national politics and the federal level, and I will tell you, and I'm sure you all agree with me, This level here, local, and the state level, we touch everybody on a daily basis. The minute that they wake up and pull out of their driveway, the decisions made here in this chamber and at the State House affect Ohioans way more than the decisions they make in the federal level, respectfully to our colleagues up there. All right, I serve on the following committees. I serve on finance. I've been on the finance committee for the last 5 years in the Ohio House. I serve on labor and commerce, local government. I came from local government, Harrison City Council, and I'm the chair of the public safety committee. I want to talk a little bit about public safety. It's really what I hold most near and dear to my heart. I was a former Cincinnati police officer in my very much younger days. Chief and I will smile. We were just talking about how now we're the old guys in the room, which is totally crazy. Anyway, so public safety is what is near and dear to my heart. One of the bills that was not in my committee, it went through another committee in the House, I've been working on it for the last 3 years, is House Bill 88, and it's basically to ramp up penalties on drug traffickers in our state that bring in this deadly fentanyl that is going to kill 12 Ohioans today, sadly will die of fentanyl poisoning. The equivalent of a 737 airliner crashing, so about 200 people, 200 Americans will die today from fentanyl poisoning. It's tragic. So the bill ramps up the penalties to kind of mirror federal law. It's not exactly the same because, as we all know, federal law for drug traffickers is very strict. It also has an education opponent that I'm really proud of. It's education from kindergarten, of course, age appropriate. School boards decide that, along with all the way through graduate school, because we have to communicate with our young people that you can't just try something once because it could be pressed fentanyl and you're dead. We passed House Bill 247 called Avery's Law out of my committee. And what Avery's Law, who is Avery? So Avery is a 12-year-old young woman that was literally mauled by a dog at a play date. If you go back and look at the committee and watch her testify in front of committee, there was not a dry eye in the House. This young lady was so brave to come to the Ohio House and give testimony. Again, we totally rewrote the dog law. We worked with police and, of course, the dog warden across the state to really craft something that's meaningful. Essentially, there's a whole entire court process if your dog seriously injures or kills someone. We're not just coming and taking your dog, of course. And at the end of the day, the owners need to be held responsible for the damage or death that their dogs cause. We are working on property taxes. I know this is a favorite topic of everybody. I know I hear some and groans, but you know, at the end of the day, the voters and the taxpayers of this state are demanding that we lower their property tax burden. Of course, I will say there are things that the state cannot mess with. Of course, anything the people vote in, so any of, levies and whatnot. We talk about the libraries. I love our library system. God bless you.
Thank you.
All of that, of course, is what the people vote on, and we completely respect that. But what we've tried to do at the state level is the governor started a property tax working group. There was a joint House and Senate group to really study property tax. I was not on either of those committees, but at the end of the day, the reforms that we passed are going to deliver over $3 billion in property tax relief to Ohioans. Now, House Bill 186, you might have heard about, went through like 10 different variations. And if you remember when you got your tax bill here in this county in 2023, it spiked almost 30%. We all remember that. I bring that up because House Bill 186 will not allow that 30% spike. It's going to just allow a spike for inflation. So you might say, well, Cindy, I got my tax bill and it's the same as it was last year, or it's, $20 more. So did I. But here's the thing. The reduction will happen at the second half because obviously when we pass a bill, it doesn't go into effect for 90 days. So anyway, so the second half of the year, you'll see that reduction. So all House Bill 186 does essentially is prevents that spike in your property taxes. We're still working on things. We're working on homestead. I'm personally working on a bill that's going to expand the homestead because I want to focus on our 65 and older folks in your home, not rentals, not businesses, simply owner-occupied homes. I believe that's where we start. And I want to really hit the middle class, quite frankly. I know right now, I think the number is, I think you have to make under like $35,000. I want to raise it to $75,000 because I do believe that hits a lot of our elderly middle class. We could talk about that all night long, which you do not have. That bill and a lot of most of the property tax bills were passed darn near unanimously out of the House and Senate, and the governor signed them. We also are down to a flat income tax, 2.75%. Why is that important? Well, we have to compete with our surrounding states, Indiana, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and West Virginia. And a flat tax certainly simplifies the tax code and spurs revenue. Last General Assembly, I'll talk about House Bill 322. It's one of my bills that created the offense of grooming. So basically, right now, if you're an adult and you're texting or sexting or sending videos or pictures to a minor, inappropriate emails, you get the picture. Really, there was nothing in the code that the police could say, hey, this is a problem. Well, now there is. And it actually has been used in the state of Ohio to actually charge someone with a pattern of grooming a child. Distracted driving, let's talk about that. It was another bill of mine passed in 2023. Both of my teenage sons were not happy when we were working on, putting your phone down and driving the car. Mom, why are you doing this? Well, because I want you to live and I want other people to live when they're traveling around the state of Ohio. So on that theme, we are down, in the last couple of years, we are down 20% less fatal crashes here in the state of Ohio. So that's exciting. But again, I could go on and on about things that are happening at the state level, but do you have any questions for me? And as always, if there's anything I can help with at the state level, you better be calling me, because that's what I'm here for. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming, really appreciate it. We had an incident, you might be aware of it, with a dog in our village. And then I know the chief reached out to the dog warden, and it seemed to be a very slow response. And what we heard, or my understanding, was that they're overbooked and too much to do. Is there anything that's going to add more resources, more wardens? How's that going to be handled? Because we can have the laws in place, but if the lag time's too much, then it's not going to be that helpful.
Well, thank you for that question. It is a good one. We worked with the Ohio Dog Warden Association, so they are on board with this bill. And we worked with our law enforcement, our Buckeye sheriffs, the chiefs, and the FOP at the state level. And at the end of the day, the bill says that when law enforcement calls the dog warden, they shall respond. And you all know, and the chief knows, when the word shall is in the ORC, that means you have to. There's no other. So it doesn't matter that, and again, the county needs to fund that. Sure. And obviously, I know when I was a Cincinnati police officer, we had the SPCA back then, and look, nobody's perfect, but when we called for them, they showed up. I have officers here in my district, I will not name the jurisdictions, but they have called and literally said, like, they want us to take the dog. Now, where are you going to put dogs, Chief, here? We don't have the place. Everyone's laughing because we don't have the space, the facilities, and quite frankly, it's not law enforcement's job to take the dog after a bite. So that's very clear in the code.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a couple questions. First off, thank you for your time and for coming, and for your service currently and previously. So one, in the Avery's law that was passed, I heard you say that the dog owners shall be held responsible for when the dog has a fatal attack or causes injury on a human. Is it the same for dogs?
If you're asking if it's a specific breed, and we did not do any breeds, it's simply if the dog attacks someone and it is serious enough to send them to the hospital, or obviously, they're dead, the police are going to come, there'll be a full investigation, the dog warden shall take the dog, and then you're going to go in front of a judge, a common pleas judge, and they're going to decide what is going to happen.
So is there not anything in there then if the dog attacks another dog? Because that was, for example, our incident that we just had, and the dog needed tens of thousands of dollars, correct me if I'm wrong, in a surgery that it ended up being a fatal attack anyways.
Yeah, I do believe that any type of injury that your dog caught is in this bill.
Okay.
It's not just humans. Yeah. Again, it comes back to, as a dog owner, you have to control the dog, train the dog, have the dog trained, and you have to be in control of that dog at all times.
Definitely. And then with House Bill 186, and when you're talking about focusing on the homestead, is there any attention that's being given to veterans, especially disabled veterans? I know that some other states are a lot more favorable for veterans, if you will. And for example, my grandfather is 100% service connected, disabled because of oh gosh, now I'm having a brain lapse. But Agent Orange, there we go. I had a whole bunch of oranges in there that were not the right one. Agent Orange with Vietnam, and he is eligible, but only because he's 100%. But it's only a slight reduction, whereas some other states are more favorable. And then also when I was reading, he closed on a house to be closer to the VA and all of his doctors and everything just the other day. But it reads that if he hadn't closed prior to January 1st, then he misses that reduction for the entire year. And he closed in January, but it was after January 1st. So are you guys bringing any attention to that?
So will you email me his specific,
Yeah.
issue, and I'm happy to look into that and help with that. I do know that you are correct. It's 100% disabled veterans. Believe it or not, there's about 35 or 40 different bills dealing with property taxes in Ways and Means Committee, just in the House. And so there is a veterans one. I don't know what percentage they lowered it to in the bill, and I have no idea the status because I'm not in that committee, but I can check.
Okay, yeah, I'd be curious, because
yeah.
like some other states, what they do is like, if there are certain brackets, it's a certain percentage based on what they are.
Correct.
And then that was it, other than saying thank you for House Bill 322. I know some people that were involved in that, and that was awesome. So thanks for the work that you're doing again.
You're welcome. Yes. Actually, they were moms from
Yes.
Hamilton County.
Yes,
as a matter of
I've
fact.
spoken to them, yeah.
Yes. So yes, my email is rep29, REP29 @ohiohouse.gov. And just email in and, say, hey,
Okay,
you were here last night, and just email the whole situation, and we'll get to the
Okay.
bottom of it and see if we can help.
awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay,
The fire
Tony.
chief would like to.
Chief.
I have a question.
Yes, hello.
Thanks for coming.
Yes.
Tony Spade, led the volunteer fire department here. I've been here 43 years.
All right, thank
We
you.
are a private, nonprofit organization,
Okay,
and I'm very interested in House Bill 476.
okay.
If you're familiar with it, Representatives Meredith Craig and David Thomas from Northern Ohio introduced that.
Oh, yeah, I
And
voted yes for that. Yes,
yeah,
the raffle
so
bill?
That relaxes some of the raffling.
It does.
And
Yep.
we're obviously very interested in that. We have this annual turkey raffle that is hours and hours and hours and hours of manpower and time
Yeah,
with not a great result. And so we're obviously very interested in these online raffles
yes,
that take a lot less work and have been very beneficial to some departments up in Northern Ohio.
yes.
You may be familiar that the Ohio Fire Marshal and the Ohio Fire Chiefs put a pause on that raffling, and I believe it has reinstated, because I'm starting to see them pop up again. But
Yes.
I'm wondering if you are familiar with it, if you could provide me any information, and again, I can follow up with you.
Yes.
It could be another meeting, but.
Well, I'm always happy to come out and have a meeting.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm totally biased with my first responders. It is what it is. It's a good bias. A quick update with that. That bill came through the Finance Committee. There was a couple amendments to it. My one concern was, it didn't have an age limit, so we're not gonna have a 12-year-old win 10
Yeah.
grand.
Correct.
So, you have to be obviously an adult to win a prize and to buy a ticket. But yes, let me look on my phone to see where it's at in the Senate. We'd had so much going on.
I've been trying to pay pretty close attention to it.
Yeah.
All I know is that
It's in the
last
Senate.
couple of months, some of those Northern Ohio fire departments that were involved in
Yeah.
that initially have now reinstated their raffles. And so I
Maybe
talked to
the-
one of
well,
the chiefs
yeah.
up there, and they've actually, they've been very good. And
Well, then if they did, then I bet you then it's already through the Senate and the governor signed it. Listen, I can only pay attention to one chamber, because there's a whole lot going on.
Fair enough.
I mean, you read House Bill 476, which means there's over 400. Right now, I think we're up to 5-something of bills introduced just in the House, just in 1 year. What are we doing? Anyway, not that they're all gonna pass, because they will not. There are some really good ones and really bad ones. But yes, this one I will look into right now for you. You're welcome.
appreciate it.
Thanks, Chief. Anything else?
Anybody else?
Okay,
Well, thanks a lot again.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, I've lost my place. Where'd my sheet?
Chief Tony.
Yeah, okay. Next up, Chief Tony Spade, Fire Department.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
have some information I want to share with you tonight. First of all, some information from December. In December, we answered 25 fire runs, 67 EMS runs for a total of 92. That was compared to 46 December of last year, double. 100% increase in call for service. Let's see, EMS details, there were 67. We had utilized mutual aid 7 times at 10.45%, which is a 12% improvement over last year. So again, now that we have a staffed station from 8 in the morning until midnight, we're less reliant on mutual aid to assist us with our calls. And so that result continues to bring itself forward. Our average response time in Greenhills for fire runs is 3 minutes and 48 seconds. And our average response time during staffed hours is 2 minutes and 55 seconds. And so, again, duh, right? When you're in the station, we're faster. So our EMS response time last year was 6 minutes and 10 seconds. This year, 4 minutes and 28 seconds. That's a minute and 42 seconds, or a 28% improvement over last year. If you break that down and look at it a little closer during staffed hours, 3 minutes and 54 seconds versus the 6 minutes and 10 seconds, 2 minutes and 16 seconds faster than last year. And then our non-staffed response time this year was 5 minutes 54 seconds versus the 6 minutes and 10 seconds last year. So even though that's kind of apples to apples, we're a little bit quicker in the non-staffed hours. And that's mostly because we do have volunteers that stay in the firehouse past midnight. And so what happens there is they stop being paid by the hour at midnight, and then they stay, sleep, and go home or to their other jobs in the morning. And if there's a run 2 o'clock in the morning, then they're paid their hourly rate to make that run. And so when we have people in the firehouse, even during non-staffed hours, that helps us out a lot, helps out the community. Wanted to just make mention of our anniversaries in January. Shelley Hoffman is 1 year anniversary. Shelley came on as an administrative person to help us out through the transition. She does our payroll, and she's a tax accountant, and she has a lot of skills that it's very, very helpful to the fire department. 2 years, Owen Saylor, Elena Roberts. 4 years, Caleb Sales, Ben Powers, Christine Hoffman. 5 years, Dustin Graham. 6 years, Ben Baker Rogers. 14 years, Chelsea Meister. 16 years, Tony Leidenbohr. And 23 years, Joy Hoffman. Again, Joy came aboard 23 years ago, and Joy just does an amazing amount of administrative work that lets me focus a little bit more on firefighting and EMS than compiling numbers and reports. And so congratulations to all of our members there celebrating those anniversaries. Also wanted to just thank the residents for help clearing the hydrants, and it's been a challenge, and so we'll be out there. We've been out there kind of checking them and clearing them out, but if you think about it, a big percentage of our population, they can't get out and shovel their driveways. They can't do anything, and so just like to see the cooperation of neighbors checking on people and helping with shoveling snow and keeping the hydrants clear and so on and so forth. Over the past weekend, for 72 hours, I want to recognize we had up to 6 people in the firehouse since last Friday. So we had folks that volunteered to stay over during the winter storm. That's over and above the folks that were getting paid by the hour, and I just want to mention their names. Lieutenant John Steger, Owen Saylor, Chris Shipley, Kimberly Bain, Nick Fellerman, Lieutenant James Campbell, Joey Knight, and Lieutenant Dustin Graham. So they were over there and ready, and we unfortunately did have to go out in this mess, but we were able to safely do so, and I appreciate those folks stepping up and going over and above. Mm-hmm. So that's December. For 2025, we had 530 EMS runs versus 444 during 2024. That's 86 more, or 19.3% ahead of last year on EMS runs. On the fire side, 212 fire runs in 2024, 230 in 2025. That's 18 more, or 8.5%. And so when you combine those, we made 760 runs in 2025 versus 656 in 2024. That's 104 more than the previous year, or almost 16%. And so call for service is definitely increasing, and I don't see that ending anytime soon. Speaking of that, so far this month, we've had 52 EMS runs and 18 fire runs for a total of 70, which is 9 more than January of 2025. And as you know, the month's not even over yet. So appreciate the community, appreciate everyone's support, appreciate you guys supporting us. I did want to just mention to you that, well, you'll hear some more discussion about this upcoming, but our ladder truck is 21 years old and it needs some repair. The part to repair it is $30,000 just for the part. Needs a hydraulic swivel. That's the mechanism that makes the ladder work. And so that's a budgetary item for us this year. And so while it'll be away for probably 6 to 8 weeks being repaired, the bill for that's going to be upwards of $50,000 because we are going to have some work done to that truck. It's 21 years old. We paid $518,000 for that truck in 2004. To replace that truck today is $1.6 million. 1.6 million. And so we believe that if we spend 50 or 60 grand on it right now, that I can get 6 to 8 more years out of it, which will take us across the finish line of when our current engine is paid off, and then we can start planning now to replace that fire truck 6 to 8 years down the road. And so that's why I'm asking questions about fundraising. That's why I'm very interested in the taxes and all of that kind of thing, because that's going to have to be paid for somehow. And so in order for us to be able to provide the service, the village has always been great in supporting us. But I just kind of wanted to plant that seed to you all to kind of let you know. Deb and I are meeting in March. I'm going to put together a 5 to 10 year equipment replacement plan that kind of addresses all that. And not only addressing the ladder truck, but our 2 ambulances that are 15 years old. And so what we don't want to do is we don't want to get to a point here in 5 or 6 years where we have to replace an ambulance and an engine, and then all of a sudden you've got $2.5 million worth of capital improvements where nobody in the world will know where that kind of money would come from, right? And so just kind of wanted to bring that to everybody's attention, and I'll keep you all posted. And in the meantime, we'll continue to be frugal and mindful of our finances, and we'll do our best to keep things happening. Any questions or comments for me?
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks,
Thank
Tony.
you.
Okay. Up next, Lisa Knack, Chair of the Greenhills America 250 Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, council and residents who may be joining us live on Waycross Media. I'm excited. I left in December of the meeting a little nervous because it started to feel real, and I had an incredible meeting with both Courtney Faber and Rachel Hudson on Monday, who are chairing the picnic committee, and they have gotten a great start on planning and are in the process of getting quotes and collecting volunteers and checking in with other partners to make that happen on Saturday, June 27th. And immediately before that, we've launched the parade committee, which I'm excited. We had a good meeting on Sunday and are in the process. We've generated a list of, I don't know, at least 50 potential participants, and that'll probably grow, but we're starting to put those calls in. And, other logistical plans, the parade permit is in, the route is determined. So I'm excited that both of those really important committees are underway and have already gotten some traction, and we're not even through January. So both the parade and the picnic will be Saturday, June 27th. The parade will kick off at 10:30, and the picnic will open for business at right around noon. So mark your calendars. It's already on the village calendar, and keep an eye out on the village webpage. Probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks, you will see a new feature called See My Legacy. And this will be where you can go to register if you're interested in participating in the parade, if you're interested in volunteering on the picnic or in the with the parade, and just as important, if you are interested in sponsoring any of those events. So if you're a business owner in the village and you're listening to this, do not be surprised if I show up on your doorstep and ask you to participate and to support us in this America 250, wishing America happy birthday. So you may hear, Mr. Borner may share a little bit more about the event when he, in his community development update, but again, I just want to thank everybody who's already started to roll up their sleeves and raise their hand to come forward, and the American Legion continues also. We've got the Veteran Memorial that's underway, and there's a lot of work that's been done on that. Quotes are being obtained, and Mr. Hermes is going to help me look over the site and make sure that we've designed it and it'll hold what we've designed. So you'll also find updates on that and opportunities to sponsor and purchase inscribed pavers. That'll be part of that, or maybe even to sponsor one of the service branch flags or the United States flag. So that will also be on See My Legacy. So we're excited about that new platform. We think it's going to make things a whole lot more efficient, and another way to keep the public informed and invite them to become involved. So, any questions?
Just thanks to us, UC Snowdad got a solid start on the banner.
Oh,
and
sweet.
We'll meet. But
Yeah, and Mr. Halter
I'm
is,
hoping maybe for
he's got his creative juices flowing to bring back our street banners for America 250. So that may be the first real sign you see in the village that we are going to recognize and celebrate the birthday, the 250th birthday of America. So I want to thank, again, each and every one of you who have already rolled up your sleeves and are getting involved. It literally takes a village to make this happen. So thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity to serve the community this way.
Lisa, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Do you have a price just yet for how much it'll be if you want to sponsor the service branch flag or the pavers?
I'm just now finalizing prices. I got a quote from Flags USA, but it's looking like it could be depending upon the route we go in terms of the flag pole itself.
Okay.
So if the flag sponsorship would be ideally the total package, and people can contribute, they can buy the whole package or they can contribute a certain amount. But it looks like it's going to run right around $4,000, which would include the pole, the rigging, the flag itself, and potentially lighting, depending upon which flag we're talking about. And we're, in addition, the American Legion has also asked us to include a POW MIA flag, which will actually go, we need to double check that the pole is still functional, but it will probably go on the existing flag, which is kind of cool. That flag pole's got to be pretty old too, so it may even be as old as the village or close to it. So I'm excited about being able to potentially refurbish that area and then to honor and figure out how we can identify any current past residents who may have fallen into that MIA or POW. So we'll work hard to make sure we can recognize them.
Awesome. Thank you.
Anything else?
Yeah, Lisa, I was just going to ask, how are we going to roll out the See My Legacy to make sure the village understands when it's live and viewable?
So we'll have to, so a couple ways. This is where we really start to feel the pain of not having the journal anymore. So keep an eye out on Facebook. Certainly keep an eye out at the village website for sure, and probably we'll also put some posters up around the village and hand flyers out at like the library, Ameristop, Village Keg, some of those popular places that people had to go. And so we'll get the word out. Council meetings, definitely we'll direct people that way.
One call would probably be an option as well, right? One call, using the one call.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you. And we could use the reader boards. We've got a couple different reader boards along Winton Road corridor that I will certainly ask to, not just besides our village-owned reader board, but the churches, ask them to put something up too. So, it literally, this is such a great opportunity to bring so many parts of the community together in partnership and celebration.
Lisa, one more thing. I have a live update coming from Dana at Waycross.
Oh,
and she
good.
says to tell you that Waycross would like to do a program about the 250th plans.
All right. I will be calling Dana. I've got a couple other things to talk to you about, so I love it. It is, I think, so talk it up. Talk. And I know that people are really good, the Greenhills Village neighborhood page is good, and I know a lot of us have our own pages that we can copy the information and post it. So See My Legacy will actually create our social media posts that we're just gonna have to plug and play. So we're really excited. Yvonne and I are the ones that are kind of leading the charge on that. And so we're eager to see what we're able to do and accomplish with that. Anything else? So again, just thank you all for
Thank
your
you.
time.
Thank
and
you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Lisa.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
Okay. All right, up next, the librarian, Jennifer Weicker, the Greenhills Branch Public Library.
Hello all, how are you all tonight?
Good,
I
good.
did bring actual swag today. This is our lovely tote bag, I'll tell you all about it in a moment. There are buttons inside, and I brought enough that everybody could take one, you can just pass it along. But I did want to mention our winter checkout challenge is starting, and that's a lot of fun, and that's where adults can earn prizes for reading, just like you used to do for the summer reading program for kids, which we also still do, but this is the winter checkout challenge for adults in the winter. And that goes from now until February 28th, and the way it works is I have beautiful bookmarks. Each one has its own theme on it. Everything from relating, new discoveries, explore, reflect, cozy up, and personal pursuits. Each one has a list of 5 different activities on it, and you can pick whatever track you like. If you complete 4 of those 5 activities, then you can turn in the bookmark for a couple of different reasons. You get the tote bag when you take a bookmark and sign up. And by sign up, I mean take a bookmark. And then after that, you complete 4 of the 5 activities and bring it back. Starting on Friday, you can earn the coffee mug. I showed that to you last time. And they're the same look as, the same size and everything as last year's, but it has a different decoration on it, and it made me very happy. But, so anybody can take 1, 2, all 6, but you are welcome to complete each one, and each entry is also an entry for a grand prize drawing, which is a wonderful blue fuzzy blanket with our logo on it that is very soft and very lovely. So it is, the whole idea is just to cozy up, be able to hang out, check out some new stuff. Maybe you didn't know that the library can do all of the things, although if you do want to collect them all, that is okay too. And starting on Friday, you can come in for the mug, and we will accept the entry forms all the way up until the 28th. And of course, this is while supplies last. We have a generous amount, but they are finite. So Friday is the soonest for the mugs. Also, digital resources. With the snow that we've had lately, we appreciate everybody understanding as we want everyone to be safe. So the library was closed yesterday, and we had a delayed opening today. Please keep an eye out for it. We try to get the word out as soon as possible. But if we are there, we are also a warming center while our normal hours are going on. All library locations are. So just keep an eye out, and if you have any questions, 513-369-4441. Just call before you come, and then we can let you know what the game plan is, and if anything is, changing, just because it does get a little fluid. However, our digital resources are available 24/7 as long as the internet holds out. So you can stream a movie, you can check out a book. We have magazines that you can check out that you can read them at your leisure. They never expire. You just return them when you're done. And we have a large range of all kinds of different things. If you're interested in learning something, you can check out one of our databases, or maybe on the bookmarks are the Creative Bug, which is like a collection of videos on how to do watercolor to landscaping, all kinds of crafts and stuff. So if you're into the crafts, you can check out some of that, even if you can't come into the library to see us. If you don't know how to get started, let us know. We will be more than happy to help you with that. Just charge your device and bring it on in, and we'll be happy to see if we can't help you load up anything from our app to get you started on Canopy or Libby or any of the ones we have. Also, we do have a new writer in residence. The library has one every year, and Mary Kay Carson is going to be retiring, and our brand new one is Intisar Kanani. and she is a young adult author, and she will be taking over on February 7th, and there will be a celebration at our our Marymount branch, not main library, too many M's, but it will be on Saturdays, February 7th from 1 to 3 p.m. for that. And also Marymount is one of our newest refreshes that we just reopened. So if you're kind of curious about how the different ways have been going for the facility master plan, that is one of the newest opens, and then the Mount Washington branch will be reopening on Valentine's Day, February 14th. So lots of fun things coming up. And then, of course, we have all of our programs. We're going to have Art of the Heart for teens on Wednesday, February 11th, and that's like the paper woven hearts from Scandinavia, and we're going to create a little garland. That'll be a lot of fun. We also have Low Waste Living for Adults, and that is being presented by Elise from the Hamilton County Resource, and that's going to be on Wednesday, February 11th at 6:30 p.m. And we do have a Birdhouse Art and Feeder Fun program for kids ages 8 to 14. They can come paint a small birdhouse, and while it dries, make a pine cone bird feeder to take home for their backyard birds. Registration is required for that one, and we suggest it for the low waste living just to be sure we have enough chairs and everything set up. But that's also including our family story times, our Spice Club, our mystery book club, so we're staying busy. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to.
I do have one real quick. I was looking up for somebody that's not too tech savvy and a little bit older.
Yeah.
What locations had programs, and I didn't see any for Greenhills. Do you plan to have any at the library to kind of help with like just basic computer skills?
We are always happy to, and we have set up an appointment with a librarian, so you can always call us, and we will set it up and customize it to exactly what you would like, from
perfect.
how do you get that app you were talking about to how do I download photos. We can certainly try to help with any particular questions anyone might have. We found that people you can always just drop in too. As long as we can, we'll do our level best to help you, and if it turns out it might be a little bit more, then we'll set up a time then. But you can always just stop in, and we'll be happy to see if we can sit down with you for a little while and figure out whatever it is that's of the moment for you. So we don't have classes specifically just because anticipating exactly what people will want. Just let us know what you want and we'll make it happen.
Oh, well, that's awesome, because that was one of the challenges, was seeing who had it and when it was and all the
Absolutely.
things. So I'm sure they'll be excited to hear that.
So yeah, you can always set up a time at any of our locations.
Okay.
And as long as you have, I'm trying to do this or that,
Yeah.
we'll be happy to see what we can do for you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Keep up the good work. All right, reports of municipal officials, Municipal Manager Yvonne Kovac.
Thank you, Mayor. It's been a busy month, needless to say. The biggest thing I think that I want to talk about, though, is the snow that we have had, the snowfall, the cold temperatures. I mean, this has just been an amazing experience for everybody. But I just have to highlight the 4 guys from the service department and compliment them on the amazing job they did. I did go ahead and one of the Facebook entries talk about some issues that they encountered, and it just demonstrates the commitment they have to this community, their love for their job, to have taken apart a truck, weld it back together, put the sand back on it, get back out on the streets all in one night. You know, I think it's just amazing. I'm so proud of them, and they just deserve so much credit for what they did and what they got done. But our snow piles are really big, so this one's going to be with us for quite a while. Anytime you can get some cars off the street and they have a good shot at it, gives them a chance to push some of it back. But even the process now of pushing it back, there's going to be some instances where they probably have to get out the backhoe and shovel it to another area. But we appreciate the residents sticking with it, not putting snow in the street. It's got to be frustrating, but everything I could observe, everybody seemed to have theirs to the side in a nice pile. We appreciate that. I know we have streets that can't get the cars off the street. That's understandable, and that'll be a long haul for those folks. But again, thanks to everybody. Glad everybody was able to stay safe And again, just a huge thanks to the service department for what.
The truck that broke, was that the one that's older? The one that?
It is.
Okay. I
And it
figured,
was-
I mean,
yeah.
common sense would
I
say
gotta
it
tell you,
is,
we have
but
not
I'm
had,
just hoping it was the older one and not.
yeah, we've not had a lot of luck getting a truck, or
Okay.
the size that we have it, but that we need, because we don't do the great big ones. And right after COVID is when we started looking for one.
Okay.
And some of the companies changed, ones who put the beds on them, they're no longer, I think they sold to somebody else, I don't, anyway, it's been a challenge to land a truck, but this is the year we will definitely do that, so although, you know what, any truck could have an issue,
Sure.
especially with the kind of equipment, the hydraulics that are involved, they're pretty complex. A couple of our council members rode today, and it's amazing when you're sitting in those things, so, I wouldn't want to do it. It's a thrill just to ride in it, that's enough for me. But anyway, a big thanks to them. And to that end, too, garbage, as you probably all know by now, will be picked up on Thursday, not Wednesday. That's another thing, it's gonna be a little tricky wherever you can put your cans so that, some of the streets are pretty narrow, so as the garbage truck drives through, they're not gonna have a lot of space. We're not gonna have a lot of space driving, things like that, but we'll get through it, so, that's all I have right now.
Okay, all right. Law Director Jeff Forbes.
Thank you, Mayor. I usually try to address legislation happening at the state level of municipal interest, but Representative Abrams beat me to it tonight, so I don't have anything additional to report. I can answer any questions if you have any.
Okay. Clerk of Council Teresa Lawley.
Nothing tonight.
Okay. Chief of Police Jim Howarth.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to once again thank the veterans. They continue to be so generous with their funds and stuff. So for those that didn't see the beginning of the meeting, they contributed to the police department, the fire department, and beautification, Veterans Memorial. So we greatly appreciate them. They just continue to be generous. Also, I'd like to mention the service department. When they clean the road so good, it makes our job a little easier too. They're not quite as difficult. So through this whole storm, yesterday was our first auto accident and had nothing to do with the snow. Just somebody not paying attention, rear-ending somebody. So Mike and his service department did a great job during the snow, and we greatly appreciate it. I would ask residents, we do have calling in, asking about, snow piles and neighbors doing this and cars not moving. Just have a little patience with the neighbors. It is going to take a while to dig out some of these vehicles and so forth. So building bridges, storm was a casualty to the storm, so we weren't able to have it Sunday. It is rescheduled for this Sunday, February 1st, 2 to 4 p.m. up here at Grace Hills Church. So hopefully people can come out to that. Last year was our first year, as you know, and we had high school from 10th to 12th grade. This year we're opening it up from 6th grade to 12th grade. So the young men in 6th grade, I'd love to see them come out too. We just feel like it'd be very beneficial to have them also as a part of our gatherings and conversations. We don't have anything scheduled with coffee and donuts with cops, but we will be having one of those in the near future sometime soon, next month or two, next couple months. So that date and time and location will be determined. Last year we had a French Toast Heaven, which naturally we won't be having here, possibly up here in the chambers, but be on the lookout for that. I am just about probably to wrap up the annual report for 2025, so hopefully I'll email that out to all of you by the end of the week, this week, if not for sure early next week. It will also be posted on the website for anybody that wants to go in and take a look at it. As far as December, which seems like a long time ago, but our December statistics, we had 171 incidents. We assisted the fire department with 52 squad runs and 10 fire runs, 10 lockouts. A lot of people this time of weather, keep that in mind when you're warming your cars up. Not only is it an open invitation, somebody to take it, but you do tend to see more lockouts for people locking their keys in their car. During the month of December, we had 2 domestic violence arrests. We had an arrest for an assault, criminal damaging, or actually vandalism, 1 disorderly conduct, 1 operating the vehicle under the influence of alcohol and/or drugs, and 1 obstructing and resisting arrest. We issued 16 traffic citations and 56 traffic warnings. So I think during the Christmas time, they were a little more gracious about issuing citations and issued a lot more warnings. And then we investigated 8 auto accident crashes during the month of December. So overall, the annual report, just pulling it off the top of my head, crime rates were down 8% compared to 2024. Crash reports were up 2, so basically the same on those 2 things. So other than that, that's all I have, Mayor, unless you have any questions.
All right. Mayor's report. I've got the December Mayor's Court checks to be issued to the state of Ohio, $737.50. Hamilton County, $25.50. And the Village of Greenhills, $2,597. And I also wanted to comment on the storm. The service department has a really tough job doing snow removal. Mainly the hardest part are those government-built streets in the 30s that aren't as wide and as the rest of the streets in town and have limited off-street parking. So they have to navigate a plow, especially like in the middle of the night in one of these snowstorms with the snow coming down and the wipers freezing on the windshield because of the kickback from the plow and the snow coming down. And it's really tough going down streets like Brompton and Briarwood and not plowing the cars as they go down, which has happened in the past. Fortunately, not. It's been quite a few years since we took out any cars, thankfully. But I'll relate. When I first came here to Greenhills back in the 70s and was in charge of the service department, and something like 3 or 4 in the morning, I got a call, and this was before we had radios in our salt trucks. And so if we sent the trucks out, I would be in the office to man the phone and to watch for the trucks to go by on Winton Road, so I knew sort of what was happening. So I get a call 3 or 4 in the morning, and Eddie had taken a couple cars out over on Japonica with the plow, and fortunately was able to wake somebody up that didn't hear the crash, so he could use the phone to call, so I could get the police then to go down and another truck to help him out. And so times have changed a lot since then. But it's really a tough job, especially at night in a storm, and maneuvering. And you know, you're riding in a truck, which beats you to death on any tiny little bumps. And plowing really takes a wear on the equipment. You wear down the plow blades, you break things, and things need to be welded, so you have to have somebody that has some welding skills and that sort of thing. So Mike has done a great job with the service department to carry on the tradition from the guys that were here when I started. All right. Reports of committee, safety, Jeff Alder.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also want to thank Yvonne for posting on Facebook and the website, letting people know with the weather and different circumstances that were surrounding that. We talked about warming centers and things like that. We'll be bringing that up in our next committee meeting, just to make sure that we're synchronized when it comes to stuff like this. The other thing too was that I also appreciate having the officers sit at the school entrance because it's become a racetrack to get to school by us, and you could tell it was a significant difference. I was going 24, 25 miles an hour, and I got beeped, and I appreciate that, and would be expected to be called out. It's amazing. You think you're going slow, and then I look down, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm 5 miles over. But please ticket me if I go any faster.
Hey, let me mark
Warning.
that.
We'll give you a warning.
I'm not even asking for a warning, because I should know better. I live on that street. The other thing that I'm looking forward to working with Rachel, we have our first meeting on February 17th. Safety meeting will be 3:30 to 4:30. I think she'll be following up on the recreation meeting, and looking forward to a good year together. Thanks.
Okay. Community Development, Jim Bonner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to report that the Development Committee met this afternoon at 5:30. We met for an hour to talk primarily about America 250. We have 6 months to accomplish a lot. And again, thank you for Lisa for leading all the organization efforts. And I'd just like to kind of reiterate a couple things, because we've already heard a lot of the details tonight, but there's a picnic that's being planned. There's a parade that's being planned we haven't had in a number of years. There's a Veterans Memorial for the new town park. And there's a lot of work that goes into that, but I just wanted to kind of just encourage the community to, as they think about this event, this is all about fostering community. After COVID, a lot of us were stuck indoors or were isolated, and so we have a lot of new neighbors, and this is just an opportunity to not only have a town gathering where we can celebrate America 250 together, but this is an opportunity as a community to work together too, to enjoy the celebration. So with that said, I encourage folks to continue to come out and volunteer. We've already had a number of people, and thank you so much for doing that. Please continue to go to the community, the Greenhills community website, where the volunteer form is. The soon to go live See My Legacy will also have volunteer registration, and the more people that get involved, not only is the work easier, but it will make it a more fun event, because we get to know each other. We get to be better neighbors. We get to be a tighter community. And that's really what this is all about. So just really am excited and can hardly wait for this to all come together in the next few months. Final thing, I just would say that we already have scheduled our February Community Development Committee meeting will be February 10th. And it's going to be from 5 to 6:30. Probably will only need to be an hour, but we're going to allow some additional time. We're going to encourage all of our subcommittees to attend so they can present the plans and the budget needs, because that way the mayor and municipal manager can kind of look at things, and we can kind of look at the money and figure out what, how to pull everything together. So more to come about that, but just want to throw that date out there, February 10th at 5 o'clock. That's all I've got.
Okay. All right. Finance and Audit, Greg Hermes. Oh, wait a minute. Maria Walter. Intergovernmental Affairs, Laws and Rules, Maria Walter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We are back to back on the meetings, and today, for lack of agenda, I had already established the first reading by title. And we stayed on with the community development. We didn't have an agenda for the laws and rules at this time. But I will attempt again to attempt in the 10th of February, if there is time left on that. And if there is an item, then I will let you know so I can use some of the time to discuss that. And I'm really excited about the 250th and everything that entitles with it. Thank you for taking the helm of that, and Lisa for being a trooper with all of this. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. All right. Finance and Audit, Craig Hermes.
Hi, I'd like to thank everybody who voted for me to be a part of council again. It's been a decade since I've been here, and I was there 9 years previous. I'm in the finance and audit right now, and thank God I'll have Debbie helping me out during this whole time. What's interesting is that I guess ran a business for 45 years, and I sold the business, and I understand government is like a business. and you understand the ways and means and how the money comes in and how money goes out. So being a part of this being a part of the finance end of things is pretty interesting because I've been a part of that for a long time. So it's gonna be fun dealing with Debbie as well as Courtney being my partner in the finance end. So we'll have our meetings when applicable and take it from there. I thank you.
Do you need a 10-year break before you come back?
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay, Service and Streets, Courtney Favor.
Thank you. Last week we had 2 water main breaks, one on Ingram and Ireland, another one on Farragut. The one on Ingram and Ireland is fully repaired now. On Farragut, they did semi-repair it, but in the process they broke a valve. So they're planning to come back probably next week, but all the residents do currently have water, so that's good. And I passed it earlier today, and it's kind of still a mess, but they'll come back though.
Yeah, they said that they're going to, water will be shut down on Farragut on January 29th, Thursday, 9 a.m. for 8 hours. So,
Okay.
being one of those people.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's probably
It affects Jeff really bad.
The pictures
Yes,
were
well-
just amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, at least you had water through the storm,
We did.
so,
I'm not complaining.
but they did indicate that it was due to, the weather, like a drop in temperature, and it wasn't due to, the same issues that we had last year with the water main breaks, so that's good at least. And then the only other thing I was gonna mention was the snow, and the service department, their goal was to clear at least 1 lane on each street, so that, everybody for personal emergencies and emergency vehicles could pass, and then once the storm was over, go through and fully clear the roads. And like you mentioned, one of the trucks did have an issue, but they were able to pull it off and repair it themselves, so that's awesome. They were able to be resourceful, and they all put in so many hours, so huge thank you to them. And I think that that is everything for me.
Okay, all right, thanks. Okay, Recreation, Cable Television, Rachel Hudson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As Jeff stated, we're going to have a meeting on February 17th. Excited to be partnered again and for some initiatives and just talking points that we have. And Recreation will meet after safety, which will be 4:30 to 5:30. Oh, I guess this goes into Jeff's, but I will bring attention to on the community page, we did put out a question because we'd just like to hear from residents and know kind of what's important, especially with those safety concerns or who's important that you ran into something, didn't know who to call, or have a number that you need or don't know. So if you see that or would like to get back to us, please feel free so that our meetings can be much more fruitful. And then excited to talk about We Thrive today. I do have an update from Dana, and they are always looking for volunteers, cannot stress that enough. And so just wanted to add that she has shared, if we do consider having our work sessions covered, that they have conflicts right now for being able to cover those. So just something for us to keep in mind. And okay, other than that, just thank you for everyone who's continued to volunteer. It was exciting to meet with Courtney and our volunteers for the picnic and to see people that are different generations and talk about things that they've missed in Greenhills and excited about the 250th. And kind of to Jim's point about volunteering is what came to mind is the quote about it's easy to look at somebody else's grass, but we should water our own. So it's a perfect opportunity for us to all come out and volunteer and serve together and make Greenhills what we want to see it as. So thank you. That's it.
Okay, all right. All right, moving on, this opportunity for residents and non-residents to make comments solely regarding legislation that's on the current agenda. Non-residents must obtain prior permission. When recognized, please come forward to the podium, complete the sign-in sheet, verbally indicate that you're a resident of Greenhills or a non-resident, and then state your comments. Comments will be limited to 4 minutes. All right. Okay, moving on. There's unfinished business, ordinance number 2025-006-CD. Second reading, amending section 1143.06 of the Village of Greenhills Codified Ordinances regarding regulations for reviewing applications in the Historic Overlay District. Mr. Bonner.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 2025-006-CD, amending section 1143.06 of the Village of Greenhills Codified Ordinances regarding regulations for reviewing applications in the Historic Overlay District. Whereas Chapter 1143 of the Codified Ordinances regulates the Historic Overlay District, and whereas Section 1143.06 provides regulations for reviewing applications for certificates of appropriateness in the district, and whereas council has determined that it is in the best interest of the village to amend certain regulations in this section and has conducted the required public hearing. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the council of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, members elected thereto concurring, Section 1, that Section 1143.06 of the Village of Greenhills Codified Ordinances shall be amended as set forth in Exhibit A, attached hereto, and incorporated herein by reference. All other provisions of Chapter 1143 not specifically amended herein shall remain in full force and effect. Section 2, that this ordinance shall be effective from and after the earliest period allowed by law. Mr. Mayor, I recommend the adoption of this resolution or ordinance.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any comments? Hearing none. Clerk, poll the council.
Mr. Herman?
Yes.
Ms. Hudson?
Yes.
Ms. Favre?
Yes.
Mr. Halter?
Yes.
Mr. Warner?
Yes.
Ms. Swather? Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 2025-006-CD passes. Next one, ordinance number 2026-001-LNR. Second reading, amending section 121.01 of the Village of Greenhills Codified Ordinances regarding the rules of council. Ms. Walter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance 2026-001, Laws and Rules, amending section 121.01 for the Village of Greenhills Codified Ordinances regarding the rules of council. The changes that are going to be are on the other page, and I will read those so you know what the changes are. The time of convening order of business at Rule 1, hour of convening effective March the 1st, 2026. The regular meetings of council shall be held in the council chambers on the third Tuesday of each month at 7 p.m. and the first Tuesday of the month in work session if needed. Council may by motion dispense with any regular meetings or change the day and hour of holding any meeting. Rule 3, order of business. The order of business of council shall be as follows. 1, roll call. 2, approval of the minutes of the previous meetings. 3, public presentations with prior permission. 4, public hearings if any are scheduled. 5, opportunity for residents and non-residents with prior permission to appear before council to express concerns about matters that relate to the business of the village. 6, reports of municipal officials. 7, reports of committees. 8, unfinished business. 9, new business. 10, council comments. 11, municipal calendar. 12, executive session if needed. And 13, adjournment. So whereas Section 208 of the Village Charter provides that the rules of council shall remain in effect, until amended, change of repeal by majority vote of the council, and whereas Rule 39 of the Rules of Council provides that the rules of council may be amended, provided notice of the intended amendment shall have been given on the floor of council at the previous regular meeting. And whereas notice of these intended amendments have been given on the floor of council at the previous regular meeting, Now therefore be ordained by the Council of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, members elected thereto concurring, Section 1, that Section 12101 of the Village of Greenhills Codified Ordinances shall be amended as set forth in Exhibit A, attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference. Section 2, that this ordinance shall be effective from and after the earliest period allowed by law. And Mr. Mayor, I move that we accept this ordinance.
Second?
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any comments?
I do, which I know that I already clarified with this, clarified this with you, but I just want to say it again for anybody listening at home or anybody that reads the meeting minutes. For the changes, currently, any current residents do not need to have prior permission, and non-residents do need to have prior permission, and this is not changing. Correct?
Correct.
Correct, okay. That's all.
Okay. All right, clerk poll the council.
Ms. Hudson.
Aye.
Ms. Walker.
Aye.
Mr. Hermes.
Aye.
Mr. Holter.
Aye.
Mr. Borner.
Aye.
Ms. Father.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance number 2026-001-LNR passes. New business, resolution 2026-R01-REC, establishing a We Thrive program in the Village of Greenhills. Ms. Hudson.
Thank you, Mr. Ware. Resolution 2026-R01-REC, resolution establishing a We Thrive program in the Village of Greenhills. Whereas one of the fundamental principles of public health is that all people have the right to achieve optimal health. Whereas individuals interact with the environment constantly, and these interactions affect quality of life. Whereas features of the built environment impact health-influencing behaviors, physical activity patterns, social networks, and access to resources. Whereas most events resulting in injury, disability, or death are predictable and preventable. Whereas Greenhills recognizes that enhancing the community's ability to respond to a public health emergency can also improve emergency response for events such as naturally occurring or man-made disasters. Whereas preventing substance use and abuse and promoting responsible alcohol use can improve the overall health and quality of life of a community. Whereas zip codes can be a predictor of health outcomes. Now therefore be it resolved that Greenhills hereby recognizes the importance of partnering with public health to examine strategies aimed at reducing chronic disease, preventing intentional and unintentional injuries, improving our community's ability to respond to a public health emergency, protecting the natural environment from environmental hazards, preventing substance use and abuse, creating social and physical environments that promote healthy living and equal opportunity for all. Be it therefore resolved that Greenhills will establish a We Thrive team consisting of, at a minimum, a council member, a village administration member, and 2 residents of Greenhills. The We Thrive team will be responsible for leading community health and wellness efforts and serving as a liaison between Greenhills and Hamilton County Public Health. Be it further resolved that Greenhills will select one or more of the We Thrive pathways and conduct an assessment, develop an action plan, and prioritize strategies aimed at improving the health, safety, and vitality for all community members. Be it further resolved that the We Thrive team shall designate a representative to participate in the We Thrive Community Learning Collaborative facilitated by Hamilton County Public Health. Be it further resolved that Greenhills will implement community programs, conduct education or awareness campaigns, and/or adopt policies when appropriate to address health and safety issues identified through the assessment, data review, and prioritization process. Be it further resolved that the Greenhills We Thrive team shall report back to the Village Council quarterly regarding steps taken to implement this resolution, additional steps planned, and any desired actions that would need to be taken by Village Council or other agencies or departments to implement the steps taken or planned. This resolution shall be effective immediately upon its adoption. Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt this resolution.
I second it.
Any comments or questions?
I have a couple comments just so everybody knows about We Thrive. This is not new, and it's definitely not something new that we've talked about with community, with recreation. Yvonne had actually introduced it to me, and there are some other counties that have already implemented this. It's a way that they're able to receive certain grants and fundings to help with the communities. I might be incorrect, but I'm pretty sure that actually if anybody has passed in Forest Park where they have the outdoor workout center, I'm pretty sure that We Thrive helped make that a possibility. And so I just want to read a couple of highlights on their infographic that they have, our flyer. It says what we can offer: technical assistance, recognition, learning collaborative, data assistance, marketing and promotional resources. So that's something that Greenhills has done before, taken surveys. It seems to be something that the community members are still interested in, but we don't have the capacity or the staff to be able to do that. So it's a resource that would be free to us to utilize to help with those things, and they already are partnered with local communities in Hamilton County Public Health. And then some examples of We Thrive programs. Elmwood Place We Thrive team turns passion into action. They've taken action to address drug overdoses and substance abuse disorders in their community. Walk Together for Better Health, Stronger Communities. In Addiston, Arlington Heights, and Cleves, they've successfully formed walking groups, encouraging engagement and wellness among residents. And then even in Lincoln Heights and Mount Healthy, they created active transportation plans to make their streets safer for pedestrians, cyclists, and anyone not riding in an automobile. They've addressed household hazard products in different communities. So it might be something that, Monica, you might be interested in as well. And helping older adults stay on their feet, things like that. So a great program that I think, again, will help us foster a better sense of community. And when our residents are thriving, we're thriving. So I think the name is even appropriate. Thank you.
And it is a very good program. Right. Okay. Is that it? No other comments? Okay. Clerk, poll the council.
Ms. Father?
Aye.
Ms. Hudson?
Aye.
Mr. Holter?
Aye.
Ms. Walther?
Aye.
Mr. Warner?
Aye.
Mr. Hermes?
Aye.
Okay, resolution number 2026 R01 rec passes. Next resolution 2026 R0, or is that O? 02? Dash F, making supplemental appropriations and transfers. Mr. Hermes.
Yes, resolution number 2026 R02-F. It's a resolution making supplemental appropriations and transfers. Whereas the 2026 annual appropriations that were adopted on December 16th, 2025 are to be amended. And whereas appropriations must not exceed total available resources of the village per Ohio Revised Section 5705.36A5. Therefore, an amended certificate of estimated resources has been requested from the County Budget Commission. Now, therefore, to be resolved by the Council of Village of Greenhills, Ohio, Section 1, since certain actions are needed and the money is appropriated, so to permit the Village of Greenhills to meet its fiscal obligations for the year 2026, the following items of the expenditure are to supplement the appropriations for expenditure for the year of 2026. The fund description, none. Appropriation change, total, none. Section 2, that the following transfers of funds be made from previously appropriated monies. So from the general fund, 1,000, goes to the police department, 2901, and that's an amount of $400,000. The general fund of 1,000 also for the swimming pool, 2909, is 160,000. The general fund 1,000 for the banquet hall, 2910, is 30,000. And the general fund 1,000 GO bond debt service, 3901, is 82,000. So section 3, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force from and after the earliest date allowed by law. I'd like to make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? Clerk poll the council.
Mr. Warner,
Aye.
Ms. Father,
Aye.
Mr. Halter,
Aye.
Ms. Wather,
Aye.
Ms. Hudson,
Aye.
Mr. Hermes.
Aye.
Okay, resolution 2026-R02-F passes. Next thing, council comments. Anybody want to make a comment?
Yes. Driving around with Mike today, when he was doing the plowing, was amazing. I could see what it takes for somebody to do something like that. It's not just going around and plowing, it's a lot of manipulation back and forth, going portion by portion, especially when you have cars in the street. He was explaining everything and it was just overwhelming. It really was. So what they do and what I hear, because my office used to, or it still is, but I don't own the company anymore, is in Mount Healthy. Mount Healthy people were complaining how bad it is over there, and they love what it is over here. The friends that I have, they said it's unbelievable what's here as opposed to what's in Mount Healthy. So just driving around with him and just understanding what goes on and what they do and how long they worked. And at the time, it was all night long. Just taking a little bit of break here, a little break there, took a nap, that kind of thing, getting back up and doing it again. It was totally amazing. So I thought it was really neat just to be a part of that and have an understanding what they do to do that work. So rah rah for Mike and the guys.
All right, anybody else?
I did have a quick question, Yvonne. Did they say whether or not they noticed more cars off the roads for those that could move off the road?
I think so.
Okay, because I noticed some people saying on social
I
media,
know,
and
I
I felt like there
I
was a
felt like
difference.
there were
Yeah,
more.
yeah, so
Really, really
thank you to the
appreciate it.
residents that did
Yeah.
that were able to.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes a
For sure,
huge
for sure on
difference.
Ingram. I
Yeah.
came up Ingram, there wasn't one car parked
Yeah.
Yeah.
on Ingram Road. So I think us getting the word out, plus television also helped now. They covered it a little more,
Yeah.
emphasizing like to the people in Cincinnati, but
Yeah.
our people saw that.
Well,
Yeah,
and,
so that made a big difference.
something after the fact that Mike mentioned today too on our ride along was, something that people can do to help now is if you are parked on the street and you haven't moved yet, go ahead and move your car further down the street or wherever, so you can go ahead and clear the snow from around your
Right.
car.
Yeah.
And then you can go ahead and move back to your spot, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or some of the kids that were out making money might want to go back, and that might be another breadwinner for them, is now go and knock on the door and ask if they can shovel around their car, so.
Yes.
It was funny, there was a father and a son. The son was like maybe
Yeah.
8 or 9 years old.
Yeah.
And they're going around shoveling all the bottom portions of the driveway by the street.
Mhm.
And it was hilarious. They just were jumping from one to the other just to make some money. And
Yeah.
the little boy was he was all excited.
Well, I know one kid that was out there is actually Kimberly Bain's son, and her husband's also a veteran too. So it's always nice to see him like post, and he cleaned. I think he made like $400. So good for him. Hats
Yeah.
off. So if we ever want to make any extra money, then maybe.
And if I could just add, what has always amazed me is that when you're sitting in that truck, you don't even see the snow plow. All you see are about
Yeah.
that much
Yeah.
of 2 orange sticks that are on either end of the plow, and
Oh, that's
they
crazy.
do that and without even seeing
Well,
it.
what he does, he's got those 3 little operations and he's manipulating, going back and forth, up and down, and he just
Yeah.
knows exactly what to do and where to put it at.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I
It is
really,
amazing.
I enjoyed
It's
it.
fun. It's exciting.
Yeah. And the equipment's gotten better. I'll give you another old person story. When I came here, back in the 70s, we had one plow that would control by the hydraulics. And the other plow, you had to get out and manually move the blade to change the angle. Plus, it was a stick shift,
Yeah.
and you had to get into the PTO to work the salt spreader. So it was a real chore. They gave me that truck to drive in a big snowstorm, but I just worked up and down Winton Road, so I didn't have to get out and change the blade much.
Yeah.
But Yes, it's
And it was
nice with
uphill
equipment.
both ways.
And it was uphill both ways, yeah. All right, municipal calendar. We have,
Safety meeting on February 17th, 4:30 to,
3:30?
3:30 to 4:30.
okay.
Followed by, recreation, 4:30 to 5:30.
Okay.
February 10th at 5 to 6:30 will be community development.
And if
Laws
it's-
and rules.
If there's something that we need to take care of, the time will be after that for laws and rules, yeah.
And Chief, you said that, Grace Hills is on February 1st,
This Sunday, this coming.
this Sunday. And what time is it again?
2 to 4 p.m.
And we also plan to have a finance committee meeting with our two newest members, and I'm gonna try and do that within the next couple of weeks, so we'll coordinate our schedules and set that, so we can, go over some things and get them acclimated.
Okay, all right. Now is an opportunity for residents and non-residents to appear before council. Non-residents must obtain prior permission. This is the time for citizens to comment on matters before council. When recognized, please come forward to the podium, complete the sign-in sheet, verbally indicate if you're a resident of Greenhills or non-resident, then state your comments. If you have questions will be recorded and referred to the manager's office for response. This will allow time for thoughtful and thorough consideration to be given to each question. Council meetings are recorded for ease of transcription. Comments are limited to 4 minutes. Speaker may not yield any or all of their time to other speakers.
Lisa Knack, resident of Green Hills. I just want to add my appreciation and accolades to the service department, who I'm going to lovingly refer to as 4 guys and 2 trucks.
That's right.
It's not right.
They do. I've always said that.
They don't drive
I
together.
just really appreciate the work that they do. I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry. It isn't 4 guys in a truck, they're all each in their own truck.
She said,
No,
she
she-
said
she
4
meant-
guys and 2 trucks.
And 2 trucks
Yeah.
Meaning small department, big job.
versus 2 guys in a truck for moving.
Oh, you're moving.
Anyway, I just really appreciate what they do. They have got to work crazy hours, and ride in those large utility vehicles is not easy on your back, and so thank you. And that was time away from their families as well, that they could have been sitting drinking hot cocoa and eating donuts or whatever. But again, I just really want to thank them, and it was really excited to see the comments on I think it was the Green Hills neighborhood page, that really also sang their praises, which was nice to see. So, thanks, Mike and crew.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Indeed.
Do we have one more? I guess some of our other people stayed away because of the cold or something.
While that's being passed around, I'd also like to thank the service department, because they always do a good job with this. I mean, makes it very easy for residents to get around.
Thank you.
Everybody got it? Okay. Monique Mason-Halter, Green Hills resident. Good evening, everyone. At last month's meeting, I asked council members to consider submitting a comment of opposition to the FCC docket 25-276 because the Federal Communications Commission, or FCC,
has proposed new rules to override local control over where and how cell towers, small cells, and wireless antennas and equipment are built. Many American communities, including ours, have adopted ordinances to ensure that wireless infrastructure is placed responsibly. Tonight, I am also encouraging you again to contact our federal lawmakers, Davidson, Houston, and Marino, about this, and also federal legislation that is being rushed through to completely eliminate local control over cell tower deployment. Last month, I gave you a printout with information about 2 online action alerts regarding local authority, and I read excerpts from them. Tonight, I've provided you with a handout that I printed from the Environmental Health Sciences website, which shows a picture of a small cell tower with extra antennas installed on it in front of homes. You may have seen some of these already installed locally in neighborhoods. Even if you aren't concerned about health or safety risks, this infrastructure is not attractive at all, and most of us would probably agree that most homeowners would not want to look out their windows and see this in or near their yards. It will reduce property value. At the bottom left corner of the printout, there is also a reference to a business insurance white paper called The Next Asbestos 5 Emerging Risks That Could Shift the Liability Landscape, and it lists cell towers as one of them. I will now read some excerpts from the handout. Cell tower radiation is rated, quote, high risk. 1, major insurers ran cell towers radio frequency or RF radiation as a, quote, high risk liability, often comparing the issue to asbestos or lead. The Swiss RE Institute, a leading authority in insurance, has categorized 5G as an, quote, off the leash risk, a designation for unpredictable threats with potentially widespread impact. 2, due to the financial risk, most insurance policies exclude coverage and damages related to non-ionizing EMF, including RF radiation emitted from towers. 3, in turn, U.S. wireless carriers have been unable to secure insurance coverage for potential liabilities for well over a decade. 4, telecom companies warn investors of the risk in SEC filings like annual reports, but they do not inform their consumers of those living near towers. 5, wireless companies sell cell phone protection plans which define EMF as a type of pollution. So, as you know, I bring information about this at every meeting and encourage you to contact your lawmakers. And she said the same thing, so you know I'm not lying, okay? They want you to tell them that this concerns you and everything concerns you. So, you know, you can also share your concerns with Representative Abrams about this. While she's not someone who can do anything directly about federal legislation, I'm sure she has a lot of influence over our federal legislators, Davidson, Marino, and Houston, who represent us here in Greenhills. So anyway, I appreciate your consideration, and I also appreciate the fact that that State Rep Abrams was one of the 18 state lawmakers who wrote to the FCC asking them to comply with the 2021 court order, as did the Village of Greenhills. So thank you again for doing that, and I appreciate your help with it. So that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, can I ask a question real fast?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really following this. Is this a health risk by having these towers?
There are various risks, and this sheet focused more on health risks, but there are
In
a lot
what
of
way
safety
though?
risks.
Radiation?
Right.
Okay.
But there
Because it's
also-
not real high, it's really close, and you'll be affected by it, being
So
around it.
since you just joined council, I'll just explain this in a way that seems to resonate with a lot of people. In 2021, a federal court ruled in favor of petitioners who sued the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, for not updating the wireless radiation guidelines since 1996, despite scientific evidence of harm submitted to the agency. Now, the FCC refuses to comply with the court order to update the wireless radiation guidelines. 1996 was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I talked to a lot of staff at lawmakers' offices who weren't even born in 1996. So these guidelines do not apply to how we are exposed to wireless, to all the technology that is being introduced. So it's kind of like an anything goes situation right now. And I've met with many of our lawmakers before, either in person or state or in conference calls. And actually, one of them said, in regard to the court order, she said this 2 years ago at a meeting. She was not surprised by the fact that the FCC was ignoring the court order, because that's sometimes what happens. In the meantime, though, there are efforts at the federal level to completely eliminate local authority over the deployment of these towers. So there are risks other than safety, and I have covered that at other meetings. But if you're interested in the health risks, one of the petitioners who sued the FCC was Children's Health Defense, which was originally started by RFK Jr., who is now our health secretary. And I've had people coming up to me saying, oh, did you know RFK Jr. is now talking about this? And I'm like, yeah, because his organization has been talking about this for many years, and they've taken action, and they have continued to try to get the FCC to address the court order.
Okay.
So, did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Okay.
Maybe too much information?
No, that was good though. I really like that. Thank you.
Okay, anything else?
And she'll be willing to meet with you to
I
discuss
will.
it further.
Yeah.
I will. I got plenty of handouts. All right, thank
Okay,
you.
thanks.
Thank you.
All right, nothing else, meeting adjourned. Thanks again, Ms. Abrams.